got to be proud of you and the rest of the team at Team July, and I just want to thank you guys for your showcase sponsorship tonight. Come on, you guys, that's all you got. I got a shout out for our board of directors, some of whom were serving and some who weren't. I'm just saying. Just saying. But our board of directors, let's see. When you hear your name, please give a wave to the nice folks so they know who you are. All right, our board of directors. First of all, 2019, our executive committee, Kevin Gelati, President, Board of Directors, Team Gelati. Dave Weller of RCX, yeah, baby. Anybody in the server in prison line? First guy to go. Josh Cleaver, Bodine. By the way, Dave is coming in as president, vice president this year. He's coming in president next year. Josh is treasurer. Walt Turner, North Bay Petroleum, is our secretary. Stand over your former self, my friend. Looking good. And Brett Wells isn't here, so let's give him a huge boo. Boo! Now, he did a great job being president. We're so proud to be here, Brett. Good job. Thank you, Brett. Wherever you are. We did a 3-year-old birthday party tonight. Contractors. Jason Holsinger, Northwest General Engineering. Nick Keene, Gelati Construction. Dominic Nuccio, Gelati Brothers. John Series Jr., Series Corporation, Mark Winters, Argonaut Constructors, affiliates Alex Caton, Interwest Insurance, Kimberly the Carpenter, Kadon Trucking, Art Dyke, Environmental Pollution Solutions LLC. Where is Eric Fowler, Meat Dolan Trucking. USI Insurance Services. Where are you, Lacey? Hi, Lacey. Laura MacArthur, Belgian Race Consulting Engineers. Trisha McComas, Belgian Race, I don't think is here. Los Adams. Trisha McComas, Los Adams, LLP. Jeff O'Kripke, George Peterson Insurance. Ron, I hope it goes well. Palmieri, where are you, Ron? By the way, you don't have to stand up. Sire Industries. Glenn Smith. Let's hear the lawyer. $5 piece. Man, that was kind of sad. Let's try that again. Glenn Smith, $5 piece. Let's see if Karen does that. Karen Stumbaugh, Peterson Trucks. And Jonathan Trappy, Canyon Rock Company. In all seriousness, thank you guys for board of directors. Leading the ECA this year. And on a personal note, this is the best board, in my humble opinion, no offense to previous board members, this is the best board of directors we've ever had. In years past, I'm just going to be real honest, we'd sit around the room, I'd say my spiel at board meetings, and there'd be dead silence. Nobody would have an opinion, nobody would interact, we wouldn't be able to glean anything from them. This board's interactive. I love it. Thank you guys. I also tell you to take your task very seriously. They provide great opinion and thought of being the ECA to what I think is our greatest year, 2019. We're doing really well, guys. Thank you. All right. I also want to call out and thank our platinum sponsor this year, Gelati Brothers, Inc. The Marin County Company has done a great job in supporting ECA and its events and helped lead us into critical political support. Whether you like it or not, we push back on 6, and we have the funding that we need to be constructing our roads in large part to your guys' proactive stuff. And I want to give a special shout out to perhaps the most generous and community engaged contracting firms, one of the ones I can think of, our gold sponsor, Gelati Construction Company. They get it all up, a lot of accolades for their community involvement because they deserve it. They do a great job. Willie's been a tremendous supporter of all things community-based and supporter of the ECA as well. They allowed us to use Dale Mahoney and now Nick Keene, and we appreciate it. And who was next now? Tony! Tony's coming in next, we understand. Special round of applause for our 2019 gold sponsor. Thank you, guys. Volunteers, please. Janine Cleary, Argonaut Constructors, please stand up and give a wave. Corinna Fernandez of Peace Supplies. Jody Norberg from Eagle Key Construction. Gotta stand up, Jody. Hi. And is Jenna here? Did Jenna make it? Jenna Smith? Kathleen Smith with ADS Pipe. Cheryl Long, freelance bookkeeper. Laura MacArthur, second shout out. Brilliant Race Consulting Engineers. And not to be outdone, Paul Stefanos. Independent Consulting and Trucking Industry. If you would, please open your program and look at all of the sponsors on that inside page. That's what makes this so we're able to do it. Who did I forget?
Mary.
Mary. Oh, Christy. Thank you. Stand up, please. Us to invite all the public officials to this event tonight. Thank you guys and everybody on this page. And the only thing we really ask, we don't ask our public officials for anything other than to show up and have a great time. Except this year. And it's a small ask. It's a small ask. If you guys are in control of jobs, don't award any job to anybody that's not an ECA member. That's the first small ask. If they're not an ECA member, they don't get the goddamn thing, okay? That's a small little ask. If they do get the job, make sure you rake them over the goddamn poles. No change orders. Scroll down on the high bid items. Pump them up with the ones they're really low on, and the hell with them, right? And the other thing we ask you to do is when I introduce you, please stand up and give a wave. These are the public officials that signed up. If you're not here, you won't be standing up giving a wave. If you are here and you don't wave, I'm gonna know. So let's start with David Hagel, City of Healdsburg, council member. Larry Unsworth, City of Healdsburg, Public Works Inspector. Thank you, Larry. Scott Broden, City of Petaluma, Assistant City Manager. Nice jacket, too, Scott. Kathy Miller, City of Petaluma, Council Member. Kevin McDonald, City of Petaluma, Vice Mayor. Janet St. John, City of Petaluma, Public Works Director. Watch out for your contracts out there, Dan. You're pretty damn popular today. Susan Adams, City of Roner Park, Council Member. Very nice to meet you. Longtime friend, Andy Allen, City of Santa Rosa, Capital Improvements Engineering. Andy. And the latest rock star in the City of Santa Rosa, David Goodwin, Assistant City Manager. Are you here? City of Santa Rosa. There he is. Construction Manager, Coach Fire Rebuild. Is that your official title now?
Yes, it is.
I love it. And Gabe Osborne, City of Santa Rosa, Deputy Director of Developmental Services. Another rock star. Here's another one. Jesse Oswald, City of Santa Rosa, Chief Building Official. Here's a guy I got to work with this year for the first time. Jack Tibbetts, City of Santa Rosa Council Member. Up and coming, remember that name. Thank you, Jack, for all your hard work too. Rich Young, City of Santa Rosa, Transportation and Public Works. Hello, Rich. Materials Engineer. Dante Del Prete, City of Sebastopol, Superintendent of Public Works. Colleen Ferguson, City of Sonoma, Public Works Director. Dean Merrill, City of Sonoma, Street Supervisor. Nope, didn't make it. Catherine Walden, City of Sonoma, Public Works Project Manager. Felix Hernandez, City of St. Helena, Utilities Operation Manager. We got Jason Benson, City of Ukiah. Tim Erickson, City of Ukiah, Director of Public Works. Oh. Jaron Teeley, City of Ukiah, Public Works. Management Analyst. What the hell is that? Bullshit title, he says, right? Sean White, City of Ukiah, Public Department of Water and Sewer. Nope. Dennis Wick, I saw you come in earlier. You here, Dennis? Thank you, Dennis. County Sonoma, Director of PRMD. And Jenny Chamberlain, there's a rock star. District Director, representing James Ford. Leo De Paola, Resilient City Fire Rebuild Center, Chief Building Official. Susan Doran, County of Sonoma, First District Supervisor, and candidate yet again, representing the U.S. James Moore was here earlier. Wished everybody well. He had to run off and meet with somebody more important. James Cameron, Sonoma County Transportation Authority, Director of Fire. One of the smartest guys I know. Dwayne Burgess, Sonoma County Water Agency. Hello, Dwayne. Michael Thompson, Sonoma County Water Agency, Assistant General Manager. Mike Vieira, Sonoma County Water Agency. He got stuck in a deposition in San Francisco. He wanted to say hello to everybody. Deborah Fudge, Town of Windsor, Vice Mayor. Nope. All right. Bruce O'Kripke, father of Jeff O'Kripke. member. John Graff, City of San Rafael. And who did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Wow, that's incredible. Good job, Mary. Mary Kennedy from Prayer. Good job, Mary Kennedy. All right. Let's not go that far. All right. At this point, I would like to introduce and say a little bit about our Bridge Award project. A few years ago, Tom Randall called me. Is Tom here tonight, Eric? No. A few years ago, Tom Randall called me and invited me to a Rotary meeting in Petaluma to listen to a presentation by somebody named Jen Richardson about something called Miracle League. I'd never heard of it. But Tom was adamant. And Tom doesn't call lightly, so I called Glenn. And I said, this is something that you probably want to go to. And Glenn was busy tending his work or whatever the hell he was doing. And he did what he usually does. He sent his right-hand man, son, Kevin. And we went to this meeting in Petaluma and listened to the presentation and saw that the Petaluma Rotary kicked in $10,000. I think that was the first $10,000. Where are you, Jeff? First 10 grand? That was the seed money. What was that, 4 years ago? Kevin and I looked at each other, and I think we didn't really have to communicate very much. It just seemed like, yeah, this is it. This is the project, even though it was monumentally bigger than anything we'd ever attempted to take on as a community relations project. It just felt right. We didn't think anybody was going to say no. And so we went from there to having we presented it at our board of directors. They said thumbs up, and we went to our annual general membership meeting at the Washoe House. And I believe Alicia, I think Mike Gelati was speaking that year too. And they did a presentation there, and everybody said, hell yeah, we're supporting this. And at this point, I think I'll shut up. And we'll let the video that Don Mills and Alejandro put together from Sound Ideas. And I think you guys will enjoy it as much as I did this morning. So great job, by the way, Sound Ideas. Thank you guys very much. Enjoy the video.
When I was a child, I was able to play sports in a number of different sporting, gymnastics, diving, a variety of sports. And now myself with a child who is now turning 15, who doesn't have that opportunity, it's really, really hard for me to see that. I just can't imagine not having the camaraderie, being told that you're not even allowed to come and try out. That is not okay.
Nearly 4 years ago, Phoebe Ellis, a good friend of mine and another Petaluma, experienced the Miracle League in the Midwest visiting family, came back and just knew we needed to do it here. So we started out trying to find a home for Miracle League, really truly throughout the North Bay, and this beautiful community of Petaluma, the City Council, Assistant City Manager Scott Roden truly embraced the project, and he was our first, that was the first door that opened for us.
They were proposing that we meet a need that we currently were not meeting. They said things like, we want to become part of the baseball community. We don't want to displace programs. We don't want to displace people who are in other facilities. We want to be part of the fabric of the community. We want everybody to use this facility, and we hope that the city has that level of interest to join us in this quest. They expressed that they understood the constraints of the city, They were just so darn reasonable and so positive and so passionate that it really would have been foolish not to engage with that. So we took an area of the park that was scarred. It had playground equipment on it many years ago. That equipment had been moved. It was obsolete. It had been removed. And the scar was left. It was unused. It needed some love and attention. And this just brought the perfect facility to it. So it fits beautifully. And I think the community's they're going to love it. The lifeblood of our Parks and Recreation program in Petaluma is these great nonprofit partners that we have, and Miracle League is certainly at the top of that list. So it's been encouraging to see that things can happen when people are committed and passionate and believe.
The partners started rolling in, and it's a project that people can't resist being a part of.
I want to thank everybody for coming today. This is a project we've been working on for 4 years. A lot of blood, sweat, and tears, but we would not be here today without the community.
I didn't realize what a big project that was going to cost us well over $2 million. And also, I'm not a construction background person, so thank God for our construction partners, because we would not be here today 4 years later with an amazing field, the playground, all the things that we have, the facilities. That really required our construction partners to come in and tell us, to take the lead and say, this is what we need and this is how we do it. It's an amazing partnership. It brings tears to my eyes all the time to see how this community came together.
On all of our projects, we partner with a client, engineers, suppliers, and other contractors to build a project to the best of our ability. The Miracle League is no different. We have teamed up with a great set of people throughout the community to bring the Miracle League to reality. They all have donated over $1 million in services and materials into the site work to remove the barriers that keep these children and adults off the baseball field that lets them experience the joy of America's favorite pastime.
We've named our playground Glenn Gelati and Friends. When Glenn passed, he had been such a dear friend of Miracle League. His friends and his family worked tirelessly to keep the dream alive and help us finish this project.
Team Gelati believes in giving back to the community and ones around us. It was a principle of Glenn Gelati's, and it's something that we carry forward in everyday opportunities. Team Gelati took one of the lead roles in this project to carry on Glenn Gelati's legacy. It was something he was very passionate about, and it's something that a lot of our employees strive for too, and we could not fathom the idea of letting this go.
Willie was humble and gracious in agreeing to let us name this park for his late brother, Dino Richard Gelati.
Thank you all very much. It's very bittersweet. Obviously, my brother's not here, but he's with us today. And honestly, this project means so much. And it really means a lot to look around and see the community, the children, everyone here have smiles on their faces. That's honestly the most meaningful thing about this project, to walk away seeing everybody laugh and have a good time.
The field has been developed at Lucchese Park, which is home to one of Petaluma's Little League programs already. In fact, it fits within the organization of their fields. The community center is next door. We have the parking for it. In terms of facility fit, it's perfect. And we're going to serve not only kids from Petaluma who have different abilities and different needs, and we'll serve them really well, but we'll serve kids from around the region.
The ECA helped the Miracle League with filling in, the items that, who's going to cover this project? Who's going to need help for this? Well, let's reach out to our contacts here. It was great networking and having all the other contractors come together and everyone get their piece to build something incredible here in Petaluma.
The biggest challenges along the way are always being able to get the hands on the deck, getting the people to volunteer, the construction companies, and getting those who can do the work to get involved. So I believe that was the biggest challenge, and Glenn Gelati opened a lot of doors for us, enabled us to have the right people here to get the job done.
They had a donor wall, and they wanted to do and all kinds of other things, and I just combined it into a monument to all of the donors.
To see the contractors, who I think oftentimes are competitors, come together to support a project and to do all of the things they did on the project was really amazing and really encouraging as well.
All the smiles and laughter that it brings the kids who now step on the field and get a chance to finally play ball.
I encourage everybody that donates to Miracle League. It is something that I believe that we need to continue to get support and hope that it stays successful.
I'm so excited to build a baseball field.
All kids need a good place to play, but I don't think we always deliver to all kids, and they are really helping us to deliver to all kids and to all people a place that is beautiful, that is new, and that serves so well the populations intended to serve.
Sorry. I know. Oh, sorry.
Before I bring up the Jen, Leah, and Alicia, I got just a couple of quick personal stories to tell because this was no slam dunk game. Early in the game, we were looking at the budget. Dale.
Gymnastics guys.
Sorry. There, I wanted to stop there. Sorry.
Early in the game, we were looking at the budget, how much fundraising had been done, and there was a big problem. There was a wet creek that crossed in front of that, and it was sketched out that there was going to be a bridge over it, and I can't remember what the estimate was, but it was big 5 figures, if not 6 figures. And at one of our meetings, Rob came up with the concept of putting in a culvert and doing it on a much less expensive way of going. And it was those types of hurdles that went on, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 different times to make this thing come in. But we still had to have a come to Jesus meeting. And I'll never forget it. I might have told this last year, so excuse me if I'm repeating myself, but the come to Jesus meeting was, we were $750,000 short. And we weren't going to be moving forward. And we met at Team Gelati's office, and Dale and Willie were there, Joe and Rob were there with Kevin, and Junior was there, from Argonaut. And if I left somebody out, I apologize, but I remember, pardon? VHM was there. And we started trying to explain the facts to Alicia that, hey, we're way short of where we got to be to move forward. And so somebody floated the idea of splitting the thing up 3 ways to see what that would look like. And there was about $900,000 of work, rough numbers. And they said, well, would you do all the wet utilities, Argonaut? It's worth about $300,000. Yeah, we'll do that. How much you want for it? Nothing. We don't want anything for it. We're donating it. And I did not think it was going to go that way. So the next one went over to Rob, and Joe, and Kevin. They said, your work is worth $300,000 plus. How much do you want? This was Glenn's legacy. We were never going to charge for it. Nothing. So it came over to Willie and Dale and construction, and we're going, well, we're not going to charge for it, and they're not going to charge for it. Remember that? Remember that morning? We raised $900,000 with those 3 contractors. The ECA Bridge Award is given annually to a project that demonstrates extraordinary collaboration between the public sector and the private sector, resulting in positive impact to the community. Jen Richardson, Alicia Hansel, and Liam, can you please come up?
Thank you guys for coming. All bless you guys for being here for us. We appreciate it.
So John just gave us credit for raising $900,000 in a room in an hour-long meeting, and I feel like that's a rounding error. It was $1 million. And with change orders, we raised $2 million that day, John, for sure. So truly, I just want to go through the list very quickly because undoubtedly this organization, you are the miracle makers. You are the miracle makers. We hit the pavement, we raised money, we raised awareness, but you all showed up, you did the work, and you just kept donating and you just kept saying yes. And I just said to Kevin earlier, we made a lot of friends along the way, a lot of really good friends, and people that we're gonna have to find the next project when it was all done. I said to Willie Gelati, what's next? What's next? We have to do something next. This is amazing, this group of people, this energy, what is next? And I said to Kevin Gelati, when his father passed and he became such a good friend, I said, you know, Glenn, that big bully, he just beat people into saying yes, and he did. He's not a bully. He's not. And we're sitting with two gentlemen, Ron and Dan from Peterson, and Dwayne Peterson was a hostage at lunch one day with Jen, myself, Kevin, and Glenn, and the only way he got out of that lunch was to write a really big check. And that was Glenn. Want to just acknowledge all of you because we've been at events with you, we've had moments with you, you've joined us for things, and we've missed the opportunity to shake your hand, say thank you, or hug you. And so very quickly, I'm going to go through this list because it is astounding. The ECA's participation in this miracle. Pavement Recycling Systems, Caden Trucking, Vulcan Materials, Valdivia Trucking, Sonoma Reinforcing, Mountain F Enterprises, ACO Poly Drain, Allegra Trucking, Graymont, V. Dolan, Bodine, Stony Point Rock Quarry, Northgate Ready Mix, the ECA, Tony Mancarini, as we noted earlier tonight, donated to us by Gelati, and Tony was there on Sundays, making sure no one had broken in. We didn't have doors. We had buildings, we had roofs, we had everything. We didn't have doors, and Tony was there just to make sure. Pace Supply, Soylent Company, Gelati Construction, Team Gelati, Argonaut Constructors, Pimentel Paving, and DiVincenzi Concrete. Thank you, all of you. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You are the miracle makers.
to love Tickling July. He's been helping us all week long. And thank you all your heart, Glenn, to see you. Amen.
If you can't tell, Glenn was a real hero of Liam's. He would call us up. He'd say, Jen, come down to the yard. I have the tanks out. Get as many special ed kids as you can, and they're going to drag the tanks in the yard. I'm like, what? They're fine. Sure. And we had the police come, and he told the police, you want to tell those kids to get off the tanks? You go ahead. Just an amazing man, and Kevin, you just continue to live just like he did as such a giver, so I want to thank you on that. So well said, Liam. Thank you, Glenn. I do want to take a second, though, and really talk about the city of Petaluma. When we looked to build this field, even though we live in Petaluma, we really thought about the kids. And it was about where were we going to place this field that would be best for the kids. And so really, from kind of Novato, we even looked at Vallejo, but Petaluma, there's 50,000 children less than 40 miles from this site. So understand the magnitude of that. That's huge. Those are all people who do not have an opportunity to play. And we've also opened it up to adults. So that's just kids that we were talking about there. So we talked to Novato. We talked to a number of cities. San Francisco was begging us to come build it in San Francisco. There's nothing like this in Northern California.
It's an old city. It is.
That's right.
That's in 1967.
Okay. So when we met with some of the other cities, they didn't embrace us. They were kind of like, well, how much money are you going to bring? And this idea, it's never going to happen. And we were... You know, I'm not a construction person, as you can tell. I was just like, well, we're going to make it happen. And when we met with the city of Petaluma, they were phenomenal. Scott Broden, I can't say enough. He was like, we are going to make this happen, Jen. Don't worry about it. I mean, that's through going through the contract. How do we afford it? How do we work on the property? Where do we go that we don't displace someone else? I mean, that was really important to us. Like, we don't want to take from someone else. Petaluma was amazing. And as much as this is about the ECA and how amazing all of you are as construction partners, this would have never happened. People like Liam and all his buddies, this would have never happened. We wouldn't have had it happen, I truly believe, if it wasn't for the Petaluma City. And I want to... Scott Broden to come up because there's a special award for him that really, he deserves it 100%.
So I recognize that I'm in a room that is just packed with blood donors and heroes and miracle makers, and I completely get that. And you all should have eaten first. I talk with my hands. But I get that, and thank you all so very much. And what I really want to say is we have opportunities to engage with groups all the time, and they come in a variety of sorts of ways. There are groups who come and say, we have a problem, and it's about time you solve it for us. And there are groups that come and say, we've got a great idea, and you should make it a priority and get it built. And then there are groups who occasionally come along and say, we have this thing that we think is really important. And we want to be your partner, and we want to stick with you, and we want to see it through to the end, and we want to fundraise for it, and we want to build it, and we've got friends who will do it.
And you simply just have to be smart enough to say, yeah, we'll do that. So thank you all so much. I think it's really important just for me to be able to say, we played a role, and we had to know when to support and when to guide, sometimes when to lead, when to provide help, and to provide the right kind of help. But more than anything, we had to know the times at which we needed to stay out of the way. And sometimes we're not good at that. But in this case, we had a lot of confidence in the team, and that confidence paid off. There were a couple of people I just want to mention within the city, because there were a lot of people who did great things. John Brown is the retired city manager, and he quickly supported the project and made some really quick and firm and strong decisions that set a really great tone at a time when I really needed him to do that. And so thank you, John, for that. But Jeff Giddings, our park manager, and Drew Holtz, our recreation supervisor, were essentially put on call to this group 4 years ago with direction that they are to be responsive, and they are to serve, and they are to solve problems. And they did that, and they did it for 4 straight years. And the results are process. We appeared before a couple of different, a board and commission, and before a city council, and I just want to let you know that the commission, the Park and Rec Commission, approved this with tears of joy, and I mean literally with tears of joy. And at the council meeting, we had clearly unanimous support. There were tears shed there as well. But we had a pretty full house that night of people who were there for another item. They weren't a group of happy people. But when they rose with applause and with cheers, not jeers, we knew, I think, that we were really well on our way. And our city council supported it that night, and they provided great support throughout. And so it was a really great team approach. Thank you all, your heroes and blood donors and miracle makers. And thanks to the nonprofit, because you guys are great partners. Thank you.
Thank you all guys to come here. We all appreciate it. All thanks to all construction people. Even ECA,
One last bit of recognition. Bill Dodd's office did not want to be left out, and so he has sent the state of California from Senate, Bill Dodd as Senator District 3, certificate of recognition to the Miracle League North Bay in recognition of your efforts to help children and adults with disabilities on behalf of the California State Senate and the people of the state of California, April 18, 2019.